Greetings to all my dear students. Today we are going to start the second part of the chapter Lost Spring, written by Anise Young. Now, Lost Spring had two parts, two short stories. Today we are going to start with the second short story, whose title is based on the statement given by the central character Mukesh. Now, the title of the short story is I Want to Drive a Car. This is a statement given by the character in the story itself, that is Mukesh. Now, this story tells about the plight of bangle makers of Firozabad. How are they caught in the vicious web of different things? How are they marginalized? This story tells about all those things. In this short story, the central character, as I told before, his name is Mukesh. Mukesh lives in Firozabad, where his family has been following the ancestral occupation of making bangles from many years. But Mukesh does not want to follow what his father and forefathers had been doing. He wishes to become a motor mechanic. That is, he wants to leave his ancestral occupation and he wants to become a motor mechanic, and also he wants to drive a car someday. But it's not that easy. Leaving his ancestral job is quite tough for him, as they belong to a low socio-economics strata and they are trapped into a vicious cycle of police and middlemen and their own superstitious beliefs. Mukesh does not want to follow his ancestral occupation, and he announces, or he says, that he wants to be a motor mechanic. The narrator asks him that, do you know anything about cars? But he's very optimistic. He says that I will learn to drive a car. As I told you, he belongs from Firozabad. Now, Firozabad is a city which is famous for its bangles, glass bangles. Every other family in Firozabad, they are engaged in making bangles. It is the center of glass industry and typically glass bangles. And here hyperbole has been used, that it seems that all the bangles that the women are wearing in our country, all of them have been made in Firozabad by these bangle makers. So belonging from such a place but not following their ancestral occupation, it is quite tough. Now, Mukesh's family, all of them are not educated, and none of them knows that it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces with high temperatures. Here, the issue that has been raised is child labor. These people have lack of awareness that child labor is not legal. The conditions in which they are working, high temperatures, dingy cells without air and light. Now, if they go and complain, children like Mukesh and other thousands of children like him, they could be released from child labor, but the thing is they don't have awareness regarding it. Now Mukesh, he says to the narrator that let me take you to my home, which he proudly says is being rebuilt. They walk down the lanes, and what he encounters, the narrator, the writer, his home is nothing but a house with crumbling walls, half-built shack that is there, situated in very in conditions which are deprived of any kind of ventilation or any kind of sanitation. So a firewood stove is there in the house, and a large vessel is there with sizzling spin. Now here we get to see the condition of women in these families. These people, they are marginalized. Now women, the females, they are doubly marginalized. First, because they are poor, and second, because they are women. So marginalization becomes double for these women in the families. Now, a frail young woman is seen there. She is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. She is the daughter-in-law of the house. She is already in charge of 3 men. Her husband, that is Mukesh's brother, Mukesh, and their old father. She gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil closer to her face. Now here parda system has been pointed out. As custom demands, daughters-in-law must veil their faces before male elders. Here the male elder, Mukesh's and his brother's father, the old man, he is also a bangle maker. So in their family, this is a tradition to manufacture bangles. But he has failed to renovate a house. So making bangles, it clearly indicates that making bangles does not fetch him enough money. He has not even able to send his 2 sons to school. All he has managed to do is to teach them what he knows, their ancestral occupation, the art of making bangles. In this slide, we'll get to see that how these bangle makers, they refrain to leave their occupation because of the superstitious attachments, superstitious beliefs they have regarding this occupation. Now Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust, now making bangles has many hazards. Bangle makers going blind is one of them. Now she says that this bangle making occupation has been handed over to them by God and therefore they cannot leave it. So we see that they are caught in the own web of their own superstitions. So everybody in that locality, they are engaged in making bangles. They know that there are many hazards, health hazards related with this occupation, that is losing their eyesight or having respiratory problems. But despite knowing this, they continue to make bangles of every color, that is sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple. Now these vibrant colors are in contradiction to their colorless lives, their poverty-stricken lives. We see another female character named Savita. She is a young girl in a drab pink dress. She also, as the people around, she is also engaged or she is helping in making bangles. Now the narrator wonders if she knows the sanctity of the bangles that she is making. Bangles, they symbolize an Indian woman's suhag, or it is a symbol of marriage. She too will get married one day, after which her hands will also be clad with these bangles. Now the old woman who is sitting beside her, she too was a bride once, and she's also wearing bangles on her hand, which symbolizes that her husband is alive, but the light, the spark in her eyes is long lost. She says that she has not been able to have a fulfilling meal in her entire life. One full meal she has not been able to get in her entire lifetime. Just imagine the condition of these poor bangle makers. They are toiling, working hard day and night, but in return they are not even able to get one full meal in their entire lifetime. Now her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, he says, I know nothing except bangles. They are not educated, therefore they are doomed. They cannot do anything except making bangles. So the only thing he's been able to manage is to make a wobbly house for his family members, the house in which Mukesh takes the. Although the old man, Mukesh's grandfather, he has only been able to build a hut, but that is also a dream. That wobbly house is also a dream for many other bangle makers. They are so poor. He has a roof over his head, and that is what many others do not have. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, which means by making bangles, they are only able to extract that much of money, which helps them carry on their business. They are not able to get their children educated, they are not able to eat properly, they are not able to avail the basic facilities in their life, but the money which they get, somehow they are managing and carrying on their ancestral business. Now, years of mind-numbing toil. Mind-numbing means this much of toil, it has reduced their capacity to imagine, their capacity to dare to move out of this occupation and try something new, which might give them more money. So they lack initiative, they are not ready to take up any other job, and also they have lost their ability to dream. They cannot dream, they are simply carrying on with the monotonous way of their life, making bangles and somehow trying to survive, and somehow try to make their family members survive by whatever money they are getting from making these bangles. The narrator asks them that why don't you organize yourselves into a cooperative. He puts forth this question to a group of young men. Now the young men, they say, their statement is, even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police. It means that from all these years, a trap, a web has been made for these people. They cannot get outside this trap. If they try to set up their own business independently, they will be beaten by the police, who is also they have their own communication with the local authorities, and together they are trying to exploit these bangle makers, and they are not left with any kind of voice, any kind of initiative, any kind of protest. So they are satisfied in doing whatever they had been doing since all these years, that is making bangles, giving it to the middlemen, who then carry it to the main market. They do not have any independent organization or cooperative which will help them earn more money, or who can put forth their grievances in front of the local authority. Now here the situation is analyzed. Why is Mukesh a child laborer? Why was he caught in this web of child labor? Two reasons has been given. First, the family of Mukesh. Now the family is already caught in a web of poverty. Mukesh is born in a poor family, burdened by stigma of caste. Now caste system is prevalent in our country, and people are discriminated on the basis of it. If you are born in a particular caste, you have to do certain things and you cannot do certain things. And these families, they have their own superstitious beliefs, which were discussed earlier. Family is also responsible. Also, the whole government, the whole system, a vicious circle is there. Sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, keepers of law, the bureaucrats and the politicians. So the family, the system that is there inside the family, and the system is there that is there in the society. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. It means he cannot escape being a child labor. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. So this tendency of being a laborer, he accepts it naturally. He cannot even realize that something wrong is being done to him. Daring is not part of his growing up. But here we see a boy who is different from others, Mukesh. Till now, at least, he has some hope to escape this vicious web of poverty, and he wants to become a motor mechanic. So he emphasizes again that he wants to leave this ancestral occupation and he wants to become a motor mechanic. Now the narrator asks him that, do you dream of flying a plane also? But Mukesh says he sounds embarrassed, and he says that no, he's content with being a motor mechanic, and therefore he just wants to learn how to repair cars and how to drive cars. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad, which again, this is a contradictory imagery which shows that how economic gap is there. Some people who are quite rich were there on those airplanes, while on the other hand we have Mukesh. He cannot even dream of flying a